Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Club. We're discussing something that's happened this past week. You all recall through COVID, there was this situation where Shah Rukh Khan's son, Aryan Khan, was arrested allegedly for trafficking drugs at that point of time, and the media just went wild. It was a feeding frenzy. It was on TV all the time. I remember getting dozens of phone calls to appear on shows for this, but I didn't because I listened to my elders. So my father, who's been with the NCB, DDG, all of India, uh, told me even back then. Yeah, it's true. He told me. I asked him like when they were calling me for the debates. I asked him. I said, "What's the scene here?" And he said, "Look, the mandate of the NCB is international, states, as well as coordinating between governments domestically and internationally. It is not to kind of be getting into picking up like someone who's using may not be using, etc., etc. This is way beyond their mandate, and there was nothing really here. So luckily for me, I saved myself some grace and didn't participate in that feeding frenzy. But what has come out now has really exposed how facile the entire situation is. I'm the first one to be on TV as someone who's also a screenwriter, part of Bollywood, on privilege, on celebrity privilege, on nepotism, on all of those things. But look, when it's used against you, then it's important also to talk about it. And that's why I wanted all of us to meet today and really discuss this trend of celebrity reprisal and how it's just going too far. You can't play with people's lives like this. And the saddest thing is that this is a young person. Forget for a moment who his father is, etc., etc. Sure, he's had a privileged life, but that cannot be used against somebody. And that seems to be what has happened in this case. And that's exceedingly sad. I'm joined by Suhel, Pallavi, Smita, and of course Sandeep Ghosh. So let's just dive into it with Smita first. Smita, you were in you live in Bombay. You must have seen this unfolding. What are your views on this particular incident?
So I want to do a small recap since so much time
Yeah.
has been lost. So look at October 2021. There is this fancy ship called Cordelia. The
Hmm.
Narcotics Control Bureau gets a tip off. Okay. And the tip off is coming from Gujarat and other states that there are going to be these two big drug peddlers who are going to do their business on this cruise. So there is a raid on Cordelia. Okay. Now, in this raid, in the first, if you see the first arrests which were made, there were 27 young people who were, they called the word nabbed in this raid. There are also rumors. I'm going to say a lot of rumors and allegedly, reportedly
Yeah,
in this.
sure.
There was also, a young man from a political family in Maharashtra who was allegedly taken from the back and, asked to go. So all these arrests are made, and the one of the arrests is Aryan Khan, son of Shah Rukh Khan, the king of Bollywood, and all hell, just breaks off. Now, if you, I'm saying this that look at the scenario in 2021. For 3 weeks, Aryan Khan is in jail, and there is a battle royale between the Mahavikas Aghadi on one side and the Narcotics Bureau. The Narcotics Bureau is propping Samir Wankhade, their zonal director in Mumbai. As you know, he is waging this war against drugs in Mumbai. The whole drama of 3 weeks show that, somehow, after 3 weeks, not only Aryan but his one of his closest friend Munmun Damecha, everybody has forgotten about her, they come out on bail, but after 3 weeks. Okay. Now what happens after 3 weeks when the charges are filed almost a year? In the charge sheet which has been filed, there is no name of Aryan Khan. Aryan Khan's name is quietly been
Oh
uh,
God.
pushed out. Then, in between this 1 year, there is a targeted attack on Samir Wankhade led by a minorities minister in MBA. His name is Nawab Malik. Incidentally, Nawab Malik is in jail now. Nawab Malik, it was like a daily tirade against Samir Wankhade. Like one day he said, we were laughing. One day he said, "Do you know the cost of the trousers Samir Wankhade wears?" he has this watch, he had that watch. Then he said, oh, he does not belong to the SCST. Then this guy goes to the
Hmm.
district court. He says, no, you belong to the SCST. Your father, you have not converted. All that drama happens. He's out. After a while, he's been transferred out. The case just ends. We have all moved on. Everybody has moved on, and then comes this case. Now, what has happened in this case? If you read between the lines, and in when it comes to narcotics, Mumbai celebrities and the narcotics bureau, you can only read between the lines. Is the fact that for me, it looks like an interdepartmental battle between the Narcotics Bureau. So, what is the CBI has alleged? Number one, there was a presence of these. That is something Samir Wankhade has to reply. Presence of these two independent witnesses. You know that KP Gosavi who took that selfie with Aryan Khan.
Selfie, yeah.
This guy, who's also an independent witness, he allegedly threatened Shah Rukh Khan's family for extortion. A demand of 25 crores was made. It was then settled to 18 crores, and a small amount was allegedly given. Then Wankhade came to know that it was returned back. So that is the case against him, and he has been also been questioned by the CBI on this. What has Wankhade done? If you look at Wankhade's conduct here, he has done two things. One, he has made public, his chats between him and Shah Rukh Khan. And Shah Rukh Khan's replies are absolutely, anybody will be moved by his replies to what Shah Rukh Khan is saying, that, take care of my son, he's made a mistake, he could come back, and, I'll rehabilitate him, he will be the best version of him and all that. That is today, actually, Narcotics Bureau today hammered him, saying that how could you make these things public and how could you interact with the accused's family like this without letting us know. Then comes a petition. Now, this is part of the story which everybody has missed. Wankhade has filed a petition in the Bombay High Court in which he has said two things. Number one, he said we never found any drugs on Aryan. Okay, and he didn't want to arrest Aryan. Okay, he was pressurized in arresting Aryan. Okay, that's number one. Number two, he said when the entire charge sheet was being filed, after almost a year, there is a legal counsel of the Narcotics Bureau. He had actually charge sheeted these almost 7 or 8 of them under the NDPS, under a particular section. And if he was charged, if at all, hypothetically, Aryan could have been charged. Aryan had to go to rehab, and he could have come out of the rehab and started his life. But again, there was an interference, and he has made an allegation of his deputy director, Mr. Dhaneshwar Singh. He intervened again, okay, throughout. Then there was an external pressure to remove this legal note, okay, and put Aryan and all these 3 of them out. So he is saying that there is a system within the Narcotics Bureau who asked him to first arrest Aryan. Okay, and even when the charge sheet was made, the note of the legal counsel was sidelined, and there was an external, draft which came and gave Aryan a clean chit. So you know what? I hold no flag for Samir Wankhade. There have been serious allegations on his lifestyle, and he has several houses and he goes out. But in this particular case, we don't know. It looks like a major interdepartmental battleground, and
But
Aryan
is it
seems to
fair?
be like,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Like the caught in the crossfire.
exactly, exactly.
It's horrible. It's horrible that you send somebody that to jail for 3 weeks, and it's all of this that's going on around it. So he'll say, come in, please.
So some people in the comment section are asking us, why are we discussing this? We're discussing this because it has nothing to do with Shah Rukh Khan alone. It has to do with the impunity with which police officers or people who are officers of the law can have the right to arrest, put people behind bars, where the judiciary is completely strangle-held and no one can do anything. And an innocent man, boy in this case, can stay in prison for 3 weeks and no one is the wiser. That is why we are discussing this. We are discussing this because of a sense of entitlement that some corrupt rogue officers can have in our country, where on the one hand we have a robust judiciary, where the judiciary believes that the rights of the citizen are paramount, and yet we see this blatant, flagrant violation of that very right. We're discussing this not because it's happened to Shah Rukh Khan, but because it can also happen to Shah Rukh Khan's son, which means the various unsung people who are behind bars today, who have no recourse to the media, who have no recourse to Advaita Kala's Sunday Club show, must be languishing in prison, and we have no way of finding out whether they're guilty or not. So this country has shown through the Wankhade case that I can pick you up in this country in 2021, put you behind bars. You can do what the hell you want. You had the best counsel in Amit Desai, India's finest criminal lawyer, after which you had Mukul Rohatgi, who had to fly down from London. The case was in the Sessions Court. It went up to the Bombay High Court. It was on a daily hearing in the Bombay High Court. It took 3 weeks for this young man to get out. Why are we discussing this case? Because to this day, this man is out. The courts have allowed no coercive arrests to be made in this man's case. The man who, to use Smita's favorite word, allegedly rigged the entire system as an officer of the law, he's out. Now, let me tell you stories about Wankhade, which I've heard from the highest and the most reliable sources. The NCB is unarguably one of the most corrupt departments in this government. And when I say this government, means whether it's the central or the state, the most corrupt. Their actual business is not in catching drug dealers. Their actual business is in drug selling, by and large. When they catch this, the drugs are eaten by termites, but they're actually then out in the market for sale. Number two, everyone knew that Wankhade was a corrupt officer. So Smita's point is valid. It is not important who Wankhade now says, oh, I was under pressure. He can exchange WhatsApp notes with Shah Rukh Khan, but what pressure is he under? To arrest who, and why has that not come out? The MBA is not in government today. So 1 minute, Smita, I didn't interrupt you. And this is no means a commentary on what you said. My point, Advaita, is how long will this country allow rogue officers to go rogue in a manner where the rights of the normal citizen are subjugated? And in this case, he was more normal than the others because he had access to fame, money, power. Can you imagine the plight of someone who was picked up and who had none of these, who had no access to the best criminal lawyer, who had no access to a Mukul or an Amit Desai? What would happen to them? That's why we're discussing this. We're discussing this because when Narendra Modi came to power on May 26, 2014, we assumed there'd be a different color of government. Not a color where you could make a phone call to a judge or a phone call to an officer and get people arrested. We are also discussing this because the rumors that were set at that time saying that, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah are behind this, which is completely untrue. The point is, it's not about an interdepartmental, internecine war. It is about the ability of the system to buckle at the hands of corrupt officers and then behave as if nothing happened. You tell me, if this was the United States of America, if I was Aryan Khan, I could have sued the government for billions of dollars for trauma, illegal incarceration, wrongful arrest, and completely blatant display of brazenness in terms of power. But because we live in India, we can't do anything except discuss this on a Sunday evening. That's why we're discussing it. So those people who are asking, why are you discussing this? We're discussing this because I genuinely believe, and I'm no bloody supporter of BJP, Congress, MBA, whatever the hell they are. I genuinely believe that Mr. Modi can and must usher in a new regime where these officers behave by the law and not be a law unto themselves, where these officers are given punitive, demonstrable punishment for their flagrant and blatant violations of the law that they are meant to uphold. I want this prime minister, and only he can do it. The others will not have the courage. I want this prime minister to make the Wankhade case a case of demonstrable culpability where these people were in cahoots with whoever they were in. to therefore stymie the law and create an incarceration of the most unfair and heinous kind. That's why we're discussing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this other salient point. Remember, at that time, they were making this big thing that it was the prime minister who was after Shah Rukh Khan, and this entire spin that the usual suspects gave to this whole issue, when it was like completely unrelated. And I think it's important to call that out, because if there were vultures of all kinds, there was the press that was diving into this, there was that political opposition, Nawab Malik giving statement after statement and trying to get points, and then there was this leftist sort of cabal of people who were trying to make it as out to be as some big fight that is going on between Delhi and Shah Rukh Khan and etc. etc. And as it turns
Hindu
out,
Muslim also.
Hindu
They made it
Muslim
Hindu
also.
Muslim also. Bina
Yeah.
matlab ka. Yeah.
So there were a lot of people who were feeding off this, and for months, not just days. AIM, you wanted to come in, and please change your name. That's why we don't get advertisers, as one
Really?
viewer rightly pointed out. Yeah.
It just means very beautiful girl in Bengali.
No,
Yeah, it
no.
does. It does. So stop harassing me. Thank you.
Know the meaning of that word, therefore.
Your
Huh?
audio is very bad, Sandeep. Fix your audio and come back. Otherwise, I get trolled because of you. AIM.
See,
No, no.
except Smita
now.
and Advaita will not know what it means.
I'm
Suhel
saying
knows
them
what it means.
already
Sandeep
knows
knows what
the
it means.
meaning
I
of
know
the
what
Let
it
me
means.
say my
Whichever
piece because I've got to go now.
Whichever of these jokers passing comments saying I'm part of Bollywood, before these guys were born, I acted in Mrinal Sen's film. He's by no means part of Bollywood. So tell these
I
jokers to
can't see
shut
any
the frick
comments.
up.
Where are you seeing
I
the
am,
comments?
I am legit part of Bollywood, and I'm somebody who's commented a lot on nepotism and campism
But
in
where are
Bollywood.
the comments
Come
coming?
on,
I can't see
that's
any
my
comments. Yeah.
perspective. But
God.
bottom line is, this is wrong. Yeah, if it's wrong, it's wrong. Come on.
Look, the bottom line here is the kid was
We love to
arrested
hate
without a
celebs, yeah.
single gram of drugs.
Exactly, nothing in his possession.
If this doesn't outrage you, there is something fundamentally wrong with you. You were in a place where a crime possibly took place, and so you go to jail. ये क्या बकवास है? Now the affidavit that Smita said that he has lodged in the court, every officer, if they're being pressurized or whatever, gets to say, you write on the side of the file, please give it to me in writing. He has to show where he recorded his opposition to the arrest and where the order came from above. If assume he did this, that he actually opposed it in private, there would be a clear chain, there would be a clear trail of him saying this either on WhatsApp or on the internal emails or whatever. If he did not ever put it down in writing, it means that he either did not oppose it, A, or B, he was scared about being transferred out, which is why he did not put it into writing, because putting things into writing in government has consequences. Okay. My mom had acid thrown on her face for writing that side note on the SPIC, Southern Petrochemicals India, disinvestment file. Okay. So all of these things have consequences. Now, there's an easy way for Samir Wankhade to prove that he is wrong. However, I want to take you back. Now, assume Aryan Khan had drugs on him. Assume. Okay. I want to take you back about, I think, 15, 20 years back when that lady, what was her name?
Ria.
Simi
15,
Podwal.
20 years.
That white dress lady who used to do
Simi
these very...
Grewal. Simi Grewal.
Simi
that one.
Garewal. Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
fashion icon. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, this
Rendezvous.
Simi...
She should do a show called
Rendezvous. We say rendezvous in India. So
I
rendezvous
agree, you
with Podwal. So this Podwal lady, she asked Shah Rukh Khan came in an interview first. No, sorry, Amir Khan came in the interview first, and 2 weeks later, Shah Rukh Khan came in an interview. I didn't watch it, but then I went and found it when this entire controversy blew up, because I remember reading an op-ed on it. What had happened was, when Amir Khan had been interviewed, he said, I want my kid, I'm very strict with my kids. They're only allowed to drink one Coca-Cola or some soft drink only on Sunday. They're only allowed to have one ice cream, and that too only on Sunday, etc., etc.
What would
And Shah Rukh Khan had come the previous week and he said, I'm going to let my kids live. If they want to do drugs, let them do drugs. If they want to have sex, let them have sex. Now, these are two completely different approaches to parenting. It's not that one is wrong. Kids experiment. When I was a kid, I experimented. That is how you grow up. You learn from your mistakes. So I'm sorry, it doesn't even make him a bad father. So to add to what Smita said, those things are very moving, but the point is he's clearly a good father. He cares about his child. And it's not bad parenting. I'm sorry, it's just not bad parenting. Bad parenting if this kid had grown up rude, if this kid had grown up mannerless or whatever. And by I have not heard anything about him being mannerless or rude or anything like that.
He's supposed to be just like SRK, He's supposed to be extremely decent and well.
By the way, let me just tell everybody, Pallavi is the biggest SRK fan.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a totally biased perspective from this window. Huh? Just
Can I just add?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just add what Suhel said, which is so, he nailed it seriously. But, there is just one aspect in this case, which is why the CBI has filed this FIR on Wankhade. This FIR is based on a special inquiry team, which was led by the same deputy director of Narcotics Bureau, who Wankhade is alleging that he has played this big role in getting Aryan Khan out. His name is Gyaneshwar Singh or something. He has led this SCT against Wankhade, on the basis of which this FIR has been filed. So I think what Suhel says is very important. And just to add also to what Abhijit said, when this petition comes up for hearing tomorrow, the ball is now in the court of Wankhade, has to prove his innocence, that at every stage he opposed. At every stage he opposed the way the entire investigation was going in 2021 and in 2022. And now what Wankhade is claiming, first of all, he puts out these WhatsApp chats. Okay, the reaction to the WhatsApp chats by people like us is like, look at Shah Rukh Khan, one of the most powerful actors in the world, and he has to go through this and all. But remember, the Shah Rukh Khan camp is extremely quiet. They are just watching it from, neither they are celebrating or we have been vindicated thing. They are just watching this from a distance, as these two fights, people within the Narcotics Bureau are fighting it out with each other. So that's the
SRK stopped giving an interview for this reason also.
Reaction is very telling in this. Second, yesterday on Friday, Wankhade has said something which really made me sit. He says, I have a telephonic evidence of a conversation between me and the legal, the legal counsel of the bureau. Like when his notes, were completely sidelined, and an external draft came and, then ensured that there are no charges. So there is a telephonic chat between both of them in which he admits that this has happened. Now, if that comes out, I don't know in which direction this case will go. And he also has claimed, this is what I've heard, that he has conversation with this Gyaneshwar Singh, the deputy director, on this entire case. Now, if this is true, and if this comes out in the public domain, then this case goes in a totally different direction. Okay, which means, but the central point remains that how a young boy, I think, has got caught in these, first of all, we never expected him to be there. And now I think after 2 years also is caught in this battle between these two camps in the Narcotics Bureau. It's going to be a very interesting week.
Yeah. So getting back to the point. Now, This is the problem when you accept illegal orders. This is the Nuremberg principle that was established after the Second World War, that if you know an order is illegal and you still go ahead with it, you are complicit and you are guilty. You cannot claim that you are not guilty. Okay? It is called the Nuremberg principle. It is accepted as a fact of law. So in this, Wankhade at best can prove that his seniors, and like Suhel told you, the NCB is one of the most corrupt organizations that there is. Mumbai police, why are we kidding ourselves? Mumbai police, every time you say that Mumbai police is the most corrupt police in India, they will come back and say we have the highest crime solving rate. Do you know how they have the highest crime solving rate? Because it's a complete triangle between industry, crime, and police. They decide किसको जाना है जेल में, किस चीज पर, किसको ये करना है, किसको वो करना है. It is all previously set up. Do you remember all those stories that used to come out about police saying, oh, we couldn't find this person, and the same evening the police commissioner being found in the house of the person at a party? You know who I'm talking about. Okay, and every journalist who wasn't from Bombay was able to track down absconding people that Bombay police was not able to track down. Surprise, surprise. There is something fundamentally, look, India needs police reforms. It is a pity that it has to go all the way up to Shah Rukh. Now imagine, like Suhel said, if this happens to Shah Rukh, can you imagine how many thousands of people this is happening to on the ground? And mind you, in this country, you do not even have the protection of the fruits of a poisonous tree. What is fruits of a poisonous tree? Without a warrant, police entered your house, they found drugs and they arrested you. In America and in Europe, fruits of a poisonous tree applies. Because you did not have a warrant, the search was illegal and any product of the search was illegal. Here, there are reasonable exceptions to it. Here, if you find something, the lack of a warrant is retrospectively deemed legal. So they go plant crap. They do all kinds of crap out here. It's insane. And then there's, and look at your audience. It would actually affect our audience a lot. And there is a clown saying bad parenting. Have you heard what SRK said about his son dating? Oh, usne date kar diya. What was he meant to do? Put on a chastity belt on his son. Oh, हम dating नहीं करते थे ना? एंटी हिंदू है dating करना. होए, लड़की ने लड़की को देख लिया. होए, all the girls in Bollywood. होए होए होए. नहीं, औरत को नहीं date करेगा तो लड़के को date करेगा या गधे को date करेगा. सनी पैड को जाके अपने बच्चों पे chastity belt लगा दियो, ठीक है ना? And what are we talking about? Drugs. What is he talking about? Girls. Because, dating girls means doing drugs. This is the kind of crappy lower middle class mentality that this country has.
Oh God.
No.
It is.
Yeah,
But
always,
but I think, see, just to add on to Suhail, when
it's not even a class issue. Yeah,
It's very much a class issue.
Just to add on to what Suhail says, that if it's happening to SRK, then think about others. I think it's worse when it happens to celebs, because we love to hate our celebs also. We tend to think that Ade acha hua, thoko inko, because see, I'm on the other side. I'm the journalist, and I remember I was in office.
Use good language here. What is toko isko hai? Use proper language. No, I'm serious.
the journalist, no, she qualified herself.
There is something wrong. There's something wrong in your mind. You get everything wrong. तुम कभी गंदा सोचते हो. अच्छा, so okay, now let me see. So I think, I remember I was in office, and when I heard this news, I was like, oh my God, yeah, my poor SRK. Yeah. So, but on a serious note, we loved it. Riya Pillai, Sushant Singh, Rajput, and SRK. Yeah, I think it becomes tougher and tougher for the celebs, because we love to hate the celebs. As a country, it is like, acha hua, usko aisa hua. Wo apne aap ko samajhta kya hai? And, that's exactly what the narrative became. So every time there would be an Aryan Khan every day there were stories, there were pictures which are put out, dug out from Instagram, book release and this and that. I remember someone said कि यार वो काला शर्ट पहना है उसके 4 buttons खुले हैं, and there's this intense discussion. And then they started talking about Gauri. Then they started talking about SRK, what kind of a marriage they had, and so on. So it just went on and on and on. So I think when you're a celeb, sometimes I think increasingly all the time, we love to kind of beat them around. I think it becomes tougher for them because we love to hate ourselves. We think that they have to be perfect or inko ye hua, acha hua. So I think that's where the unfairness of it came out. And I remember Samir Wankhade was actually called a superhero. He was called a tough cop who's taken on the tough people.
He
was called a Rambo and all.
They were trending a hashtag India with NCB.
Yeah, exactly. And he was called a Rambo.
Listen, at that point of time, Abhijit, at that point of time, Wankhade, the way he was projected was cleaning up the drugs issue in Mumbai. That was a positive thing, no doubt. But who knew?
But remember, I no longer trust heroes for quite some time now. Okay, I trust institutions, not SRK. You trust institutions, not individuals. Anyway, just one quick point. You know this point that Pallavi made about Schadenfreude in India. It is a really sick disease. Anytime anybody is doing well for themselves, you want to pull them down. जब अंबानी अपने बेटे की शादी करती है, वो अपने पैसे से कर रहा है यार. अपने बेटे से प्यार करता है, अपनी बेटी से प्यार करता है. He wants them to be happy. He's doing it in a fantastic way for them that they'll remember forever and ever. What is your problem? Do you know how much money, that is extra money that Ambani is pumping into the economy? The catering, the jewels, the sarees, and it's all Indian stuff. Indian jewelers, Indian clothes, Indian caterers, Indian food. He's putting it directly into the Indian economy. They can't see that. Oh, कैसे तुमने कर लिया? भाई तू भिखारी है, तू अपने बेटी को कुछ नहीं दे सकता, उसका ये नहीं है.
Imagine today Ayushman Khurrana is being trolled because that poor man, he's carrying his father's जो है ना, जे अर्थी लेके जाते हैं. He's wearing sunglasses. Most probably that man is trying to hide his tears. He doesn't want to show his face, whatever. But he's been trolled कि कैसा बेटा है यार, अपना sunglasses पहन के जा रहा है, fancy sunglasses. I mean, this is what that's what I'm saying. We love to hate our celebs, just bash them all the time. You remember what they did with Aishwarya Bachchan's daughter? I mean, the girl had to go to court to have a restraint order on these YouTube stories and all of that. It's as bad as it can get. Riya Pillai, kam thodi choda, usko bole gaye hum. I mean, outside her house, her poor father who's got nothing to do with cinema. Even he was trolled, he was followed.
You remember the Talwar murder?
Talwars. No, but
I see
Talwar
some
was
of
like celeb. But
I see some of the
like
comments,
SRK,
saying that we are all Bollywood apologists and you don't know.
No, we are not Bollywood apologists. It can happen to anyone. It can happen to us. And, it's unfair. Where they are wrong, they are wrong. But where they are not wrong, please, for heaven's sake, we can't say this. I mean, I remember the day SRK went to jail to meet his son.
That you people don't like Bollywood. But you know what? People in Bollywood have a right to...
सबसे पहले टिकट काट के देखेंगे. सबसे पहले टिकट काटेंगे, सबसे पहले पहला शो देखेंगे. But they want to bash them because they want to show that we are left liberal and we're different. I'm usually quiet.
I find that the drugs,
And
the whole
Sandeep,
drugs issue came out.
You got angry.
Every
Why?
decade, every 5 to 7 years,
Why
the
they
drug
angry?
issue comes out with with Sushant Singh Rajput, and then whole thing again. That drug thing came, then again with Aryan, and again it dies down. And if you go to any parties or any social event in Mumbai, if you are in a little different strata of society, they say, "Aha, it's all over." It's there. There are universities and colleges. I know many university heads who are very worried about the rampant drug issue in Mumbai. That is a serious matter. But this case and the way this case is going on now, I thought we saw the last of it, but I think we still don't know something about this case. Nothing. If you even sit down and use your reporting narratives, who, when, where, what, how, still something is missing, and I hope we will know this week. So I want to tell everybody who's accusing us of being Bollywood apologist and not, we are discussing this specific case, and it has, as Sohail says, it impacts everybody. We are not, at least none of us are Bollywood apologists.
No, and also, I think the fact of the matter is that there is a lot of anger against Bollywood. It's existed for a while, and it's still there. And I think that there are legitimate reasons for that as well. But that does not
So
mean
let me
we
let
lose
me
the
But angry
understanding
about
of what
what?
is fair and
let
what
me
is
Angry about what,
not.
Advaita?
so let me get in on this. Let me get in on this.
That's a whole other debate, but we will
Let
discuss it.
me
Yeah.
let me get in on this. Is there drug use in Bollywood? 100% there is. Is there drug use amongst many industrialist quarters in India? Of course there is. Is there drug use amongst politicians? Of course there is. Drug use has increased. Let me tell you one thing. I was born and raised in Calcutta, and I once said this on television. I have one bad habit, which is smoking, but it's legal. I have never smoked a joint. I have not touched weed, nothing. Why? Well, I'm on a natural high. A, B, it's illegal. Let me tell you, almost 80% of so-called, noble people, भाई बड़े अच्छे खानदान के लोग हैं, वो सब सारे उनके घरों में ये सब चलता है. Who's turning a blind eye? Two people. Society means you and I, and the second are the law enforcement agencies. Do you think the law enforcement agencies, the stupid guys, don't know who's doing it and who's not? Now, let me tell you, and I lost many friends. I don't know if you people even remember. Almost 20 years ago, there was an Afghani national who was arrested near one of the cinema halls, Savitri Cinema or whatever. There were four people named and four people who he was going to supply drugs to. Then there's a Bollywood actor who was caught with drugs on his persona, Fardeen Khan. I have the name because it's public knowledge. You know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
the laws changed? The laws were changed by saying that this is for personal
Grams.
consumption and not for dealing. Where was it changed? At the police station. How was it changed? By giving money. I mean, by bribing. So the point I'm making, Advaita, is you can either decide to completely clean up the system or live with that hypocrisy. There's no such thing as partial pregnancy. So for anyone to tell me that no, only Bollywood में होता है, बाहर कहीं नहीं होता, सब जगह होता है. But yes, they are the lightning rod as they should be. When with celebrity dumb also comes a price that you have to pay. Because you cannot be on the one hand claiming to be role models and then on the other doing everything that is contrary to that role model, bit. So no one here is defending Bollywood or Tollywood or Mollywood. We don't give a toss. But the point is, don't throw the baby with the bathwater. If you're saying that we want to cleanse the system, then by all means cleanse the system. And when I say cleanse the system, then have the courage to catch people based on evidence. Because after that, it's like crying wolf. No one will believe you. Someone on the comments very rightly said that hereafter a lot of people will worry about arresting people who are celebrities if they are caught with drugs. That is exactly what we don't want happening. But Wankhade has let down the law enforcement mechanism. And Wankhade is again only an epitome of that or symptomatic of that larger malaise. Parambir Singh, Sachin Vase, what did they do? They got away and now they've been exonerated by a BJP government. So, Advaita, hum aam mein sab nange hain. The point is, you either do lip service or you actually genuinely do service, which is why I'm saying that I don't know how it's structured or what will happen. But let's see if the Prime Minister actually takes cognizance of this and not as a drug issue, but as an issue where errant and rogue officers can go rogue and do these kind of things, then to my mind, you will cleanse the system. You will make it transparent and not opaque. You will make it fair and not unjust. You will make it swift and not enduring. And that is what you need. Because let me tell you, this malaise exists amongst us. There are many who are in denial, and there are others who turn a blind eye saying that it's not my monkey, it's not my circus. आपने ये कर रहे थे फिर आप करो. I'll tell you something. A lot of people tell me that in some of the poshest schools in Delhi NCR, drug use is rampant, as
Yeah.
is rampant in posh schools all over. But you tell me, a drug.
Or on the
See, this,
sides of the railway tracks, yeah.
this is the example I gave when that Ali got caught. My point was that India is not like America. In America, the drug dealers are wealthier than the drug consumers as a finite block. Here, it's the guys with the money who are buying this. So the pushers or the drug dealers or the drug peddlers are actually doing dihari ki ka wages. So if you want to catch them, you're not being able to snuff it out. You've got to catch the people who are making them do this business and therefore are their consumers. And that is why I believe that the NCB and before that, whoever did it in their bloody avatar made a mistake. You should not be making a difference in penalizing people based on consumption versus dealing, because you will always have a problem. And you will always leave the law, you will give it some reason for it to be twisted. I'm talking from a legal point of view. Drug
Yeah.
use, drug consumption, or drug handling is the same. You are dealing with an illegal entity, illegal substance, period. When I say that, no, oh, someone was caught with X milligram, that is irrelevant. The fact is, he has that X milligram on his person, which is what the law in the US is. That's my problem. You are allowing officers to interpret the law based on either the bribe they receive or the pressure they are put under.
No,
And I
can
think
just
I
add
think let's
something,
not.
Advaita,
Yeah,
on
go
this
ahead.
Parambir thing which Suhel rightly said, because Parambir now is being, Parambir's all past sins are being now completely ignored, and Parambir, in the new avatar of Parambir, he is helping the government in all the cases which were filed, against people, individuals, and whether celebrities or, there have been the SSR case, the Arnab case, the Arnab TRP case, the Waze case, and I think that Mansukh Hiren murder, that whole Waze.
Yeah.
So he is now helping the government, so he gets a clean chit. So he has the new avatar, But I think the key issue here is uh, the the wheels within wheels. Imagine this Gosavi, that guy, and absolutely one nobody, but comes into this particular raid, stands and behaves like an independent witness. His independent witness is, his statement has been taken. Who are these two people and what are they doing on this particular raid with the NCB officers? I mean, these are the questions Wankhade has to answer. Whether he'll put the blame on somebody else is a different issue, but look at the way the entire bureau, which is supposed to deal with the rampant growth of narcotics in our society, is dealing. It's like 3-4 different camps fighting with each other, and eventually, if we come to know, all this was basically the whole, like, the trap was laid for some other drug dealers. They and Aryan Khan fell into it, and eventually it's the battle between these two groups. I mean, if Shah Rukh Khan was in some other country, I'm sure he would have sued this.
No, but
The
how is someone allowed to take selfies? And I remember all that video and those selfies were so liberally leaked
exactly.
out. I mean, surely there must be NCB officers sitting there now when an interrogation is going on, and when
Who
Aryan Khan
knows?
was
I
in
mean,
custody.
knowing
But
this
there are,
world a little bit.
Pallavi, there are two people. We are only talking about this Gosavi guy. But there's another guy, if I'm not mistaken, Stan D'Souza or somebody. There were two independent guys like this who came with the NCB, raids, and acted also almost like an independent witness throughout this. The second part is so far so good. As I said, the silence from the Shah Rukh camp, because if this guy is putting out WhatsApp messages, so far there are no, the other side has not put out any
Counter.
messages which shows that these guys were asking for this kind of money. So
It's
so
so
far so good.
unfair to
Wankhade
put out
seems
these
to be
messages,
protected.
yeah. It's so
So
unfair
far
to put
he's
out these
protected.
WhatsApp messages. I mean,
No,
they're
it was
private
in a
ones.
I feel it was in a very bad taste.
I'm
I mean,
also
now everybody
also
will
you're
call me a Shah Rukh Khan supporter and all
no, no,
that. But
which is not a
this
bad
was
thing, Smita.
absolute infringing of his privacy,
But
and
my point
he should
is
not have been
that
done.
you are an investigating officer. How do you exchange notes with someone who's clearly the person you're interrogating and their father? That's not allowed, right? There's a specific rule.
But that's exactly what the NCB said today to him in court. What is this? This is absolutely why you never told senior officers that you were in touch with the accused's father. But so
I'm just
far, I must
wondering.
say, luck
I
seems
saw
to
that
be.
exchange. Listen, I saw that exchange. Shah Rukh doesn't go beyond the pale because he says within the law. And I think Wankhade also does not respond in anything that is leading or suggestive or anything
Exactly.
of that sort. And if someone reaches out to you, families do reach out to you in these kind of cases. It's normal, it's natural, it happens. I mean, I know of these things. But it's to what extent you give
But
information to
Advaita,
the people being
apparently
engaged.
Samir
You
Wankhade was
want
responding. But apparently Samir Wankhade was responding to his messages till early morning, 4 or 5.
well,
I mean,
that
you
is
don't
excessive. Yeah,
या एक दो
that is
जवाब दे दिया
excessive.
यार पर इतना थोड़ी देते
Huh.
हो यार I mean we also I mean no, I've never heard of an investigating officer doing this beyond a point of time they say we can't engage with you at all don't send it to us
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I
there is
don't
one.
expect SRK to speak out I don't see he stopped talking I
I,
mean remember even for the promo of Pathan he never gave those one-on-one interviews because this is something I think they don't want to talk about.
No,
See, the
this is
other
obviously a
thing.
very traumatic time for the family.
Poor
And I want to
Aryan
also
Khan
say
yaar.
this, and all these, what I find very disturbing is what the vulturism around this particular issue. I mean, imagine if like they were suggesting one lot of people that Modi and Shah are behind this, then would all of this had come out now in under their government? It wouldn't have come out. I think it's an investigation that is actually taking its own course, and things are being
No,
revealed.
I don't want to take names, but they are so-called respected journalists who are also the social media timeline who keep on trashing the government, saying, "Look, this is the Muslim hate," and so on and so forth. How
Yeah,
unfair! Yaar. And what are you doing to that little child, yeah? And I remember there were
so
pictures which
there
were
is
leaked
a.
out of him partying,
Suhel
and they
wanted
were
to come in.
projecting
Suhel
him as
wanted
a very
Yes, sir.
spoiled brat. Yeah, sir. Please put
See,
out Sanjeev and make him come back. Poor guy.
He's very upset. He's like, I'm done with the Sunday club. It was as good. It was good while it lasted. So I said, okay, fine. Then you relax and let us know when you want to come back. He's very upset, by the way. But I'm sure
see,
we'll make him okay. He's
my
addicted a
point
little
is,
bit.
my
Yeah,
point
Speaking of
is,
sure.
addictions. Hmm.
my point is slightly different. When Wankhade took action against these people, he was hailed as a hero for all the right reasons. Because
Correct.
here was one man who took on the established Bollywood people with their celebrity power, fame, money, status, all of that. In many ways, he was representative and emblematic of the new India, where entitlement had been done away with right from the top downwards. When this kind of thing happens, and let's be fair, let's wait for the investigation to be over because it isn't over until the fat lady has sung. We don't know what might happen. But in the interim, what has happened are two things. Number one, the confidence of the people has eroded drastically in the law enforcement capabilities of our law enforcing agencies, especially the NCB. Number two, what has also happened as collateral damage is people have recognized that the judiciary, which should have been more interventionist and more proactive in determining either the bona fides or the mala fides of this case, was also absent as a proactive player. So, two things have happened. We have shown up a systemic flaw, and we have also shown up a human flaw. These two need quick course correction because only when these are course corrected will people have faith once again in the system. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll tell you what will happen, Advaita. Tomorrow, an honest officer arrests someone for the right reason, be it celebrity or not celebrity. He or she will presume to be someone who's doing it for the take or who is doing it for whatever reason. We will lose faith in the system, which is the worst thing that can happen. Because all said and done, the mandate of the NCB is to snuff the drug cartel, the drug problem, and drug usage out of India. If they are weakened by either bad behavior or roguish behavior or not following the law, that distrust will go a long way in harming the efforts that this government is making or any government is making to alleviate India of a drug problem. That has to be also analyzed logically.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
I'm looking at some of the comments, and people are talking. Oh,
Why
are
can't
you
I get
not
to see
aware
the
about?
comments?
I can see it actually here, but there is a very interesting way in which, when I saw the chats between Shahrukh and Sameer Wankhade, I'm just going back through since Aryan was arrested and the entire conduct of Shah Rukh Khan. As you know, when this whole Nawab Malik case came out, and he used to have a press conference every day at 10:30.
Every day.
And he used to run that, and I know that there were several. If you see one of his chat, Shah Rukh's comment, he says, "Should I talk to the daughter?" Okay, so obviously Shahrukh is allegedly, reportedly implying that should I talk to the daughter of a big political patriarch in Maharashtra to tell this minister to stop this.
To
And
back off,
Shahrukh
yeah.
never came out and supported this whole tirade versus Wankhade. He got out of it and he said, "Listen, I don't want to get into this. Please don't play. Please don't act as my my supporters. I don't want to get into this. I want my son out, and I want this whole case, all these charges and all that." And even now I feel that this is the same thing which he is the strategy that he's adopting, that this is now between these two officers. Both are alleging each other of corruption, both are alleging each other of interference, both are alleging each other of extortion, and let's see what comes out of it. So all does this reflect on Bollywood? I don't think so. Bollywood has all issues. If you ask my opinion here, the biggest multiplex chain in India, the PVR, is literally, I mean, in and around me where I stay, the multiplexes are shutting down. Bollywood is in trouble, but I don't want to link all that is happening with what this case is. We are only discussing the merits of this case and its
Yeah,
larger impact
absolutely.
on society.
So
Absolutely.
someone, Manoj K, asks me, what has to George Bernard Shaw has to say on today's pious occasion? Number one, Manoj K, buy yourself a copy of Renan Martin. Number two, go get a proper education English. And of you, people would have said, wisdom doesn't necessarily come with age, Bernard Shaw. B, he also said, which is apt to us in this discussion, when whales fight, shrimps are eaten. Now, son, that I've given you free George Bernard Shaw education, go back into your cave and buy yourself a Renan Martin. Thank you.
And Pallavi loves shrimps and she loves Shah Rukh Khan.
I just read the comments. I'm being trolled. So now I'm on SRK's payroll and Raga's payroll, and I'm
And
going
you're
to get a
getting
gift from
gifts.
SRK.
You're getting a gift from SRK. Are we all getting
Yeah,
gifts from SRK? Come on, make it happen. I think we already got a gift from SRK earlier this week when Suhel tried to troll him and he gave it back to him in such
Not at all.
style.
Not
Oh,
at all.
please, you are
You
trying to
are,
troll
as
him.
always, economical
You
with the
are
truth.
trying to
that
I
troll
said,
was
him.
classy,
I said
Suhel.
his
That
wife
was
is more
classic. So
talented than him.
I think
His
we are
retort
already
was,
in
but I'm better
SRK.
looking than you. I said I was talking
Yeah.
about talent, not good looks. To which he said, when you have such good looks, you don't need talent. Actually, he
He,
self-incriminated. But you, being economical
No,
with the
I think
truth, will not tell
I
people.
think
see
no,
how
I think he
hyper he's
was
getting.
being
He's not, I
smart.
mean, I'm so
Yeah,
hyper.
Not at all.
yeah.
I'm not hyper today.
Basically,
I'm very calm.
SRK put him in his place.
I'm not
Basically,
at all. And
that's
boss,
what
wo abhi
happened.
bacha hai yaar. Put him
That's
in
what
your
happened.
place.
Okay, basically, that's what
Chal,
happened.
chal.
But don't mess with the Badshah,
Suhel,
as they
how
say.
old are you going to be? Tell us, yeah. How old are you going to be?
That's privileged information. Are we done with this
Everybody is
rather?
trolled. My
Oh,
God.
Dad, and I just want to say there was
Let
this
me tell you,
lovely
Smita, let me tell
show.
you, don't worry
No,
about
wait,
the trollers. Let me tell you, don't worry about the trollers. I'll tell you what their psyche is. They are basically bitter, anonymous people who have, as
See,
Oscar Wilde said, no idea of how to live or when to die. So just ignore them. You must
Okay.
watch their comments to see how deep and sad their intellectual and human decline is, and then revel in it, saying that at least you're not going there. On that note,
Absolutely. And there is
yeah.
one may have ideological views, political views, but there must always be space for decency. Always. Decency and grace.
yeah, you
And
don't
I
worry
think
about
that's
trollers and all that. They're
no,
duffers.
no, but that's okay.
You never
But I
worry
just
about
want
it.
to tell
They're
you,
good.
the Prime Minister is in Papua New Guinea, and there's a lovely video, really sweet video of the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea welcoming him on the tarmac and actually taking his blessings, seeking his blessings, touching his feet. I think Prime Minister has become like this elderly statesman in the world, and I never ever thought of Papua New Guinea as a country which we have a shared heritage with. But a small gesture like that, and suddenly I'm thinking, yeah, we do have a shared heritage, we do have a civilizational connect, and I think that's lovely. So watch that. That's feel good video for the day, and we'll be back next week, and probably sometime in the middle if something big happens. I'm not sure if we're doing Sunday Club next week because it's Suhail's happy birthday.
Oh, is he calling us? No, he won't call us. He never
He
calls
won't-
us. I don't know why.
And
Why
on
do
that
you call
note,
him,
God bless
Ajata,
you,
for Sunday Club?
we'll
and I
cut
hope
a
you have
cake.
a
We'll cut a
splendid
cake
evening.
for him. We'll cut a cake for him on the
Okay,
Sunday
thank you.
Club.
God bless you.
But
Bye-bye.
the candles may set off the fire alarm, so I'm not
Correct.
sure that
Bye, Smita.
we should take some
Bye,
chances.
Suhel.
Bye,
Suhel doesn't
Suhail.
like to hear the
Bye,
truth
bye,
about
everybody.
himself. See?
Like,
दूसरों को
subscribe,
बोलता
etc.,
है.
etc.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye.